I'm Buffy Philippel, and I'm with Teamwork Online. And you're going to see a little bit of an interview on Tim's story. I've known Tim for quite a while. What I've been incredibly impressed with, I met him as soon as he had graduated from Harvard Business School. He worked at the Philadelphia Eagles, an amazing time when you were building the whole business and the training center, and you ended up working with building Lincoln Field, right? Lincoln Financial Field. Then Tim ended up going over to the Washington Capitals, head of sales and marketing, doing amazing things over there. And there's some incredible digital guy that seemed to be the owner at that particular time. A pretty good guy. Yep. And so he was involved in a lot of running a lot of the business. One of the things that I've really liked a lot about Tim, what I think his story is he has really treated his responsibility as a real business executive, thinking on behalf of the owner. Owners end up putting money into these franchises. They pay for the franchise rights. And they could put their money in other things, right? They could put it in the stock market, or they could put it in housing, whatever they might want to do. They need a return on investment. So Tim has been amazing. When an owner says, how are you going to use my money? He has been amazing. Shared with me when he first started here at the union. What did he do? What did he say to the owner that just gave him so much confidence that this guy really was going to be able to help the organization? Can you share a little bit about that with me, Tim?
Sure.
And with everybody here?
Sure. So first of all, thank you guys for coming out. Appreciate the time that you're taking to come out today, and happy to answer any questions. This is I've been here a year and a half, and when I got here, I took the first 3 months to really assess the situation and put together a strategic growth plan. And our growth plan has started with 11, now it has 12 key strategies. And for the most part, all of these strategies are data-driven strategies to accelerate growth. So revenue growth, as well as bottom line, profitability growth as well. And I think part of my training is from Harvard Business School and understanding. Before that, I worked in professional sports. I worked for Jacksonville Jaguars, the San Diego Chargers, and basic sponsorship roles. And then I go to business school, and I'm exposed to this world where there's venture capitalism, there's investment banking, and there's consulting, and just some incredibly bright people. And from that, you start to look at life a little bit different. You look at business a little bit different, and how all of the different disciplines intersect with one another, and having a much more holistic approach to it. And I think throughout then my career, I've been able to be on different boards for venture capital firms, and they just have a different way of analyzing businesses. My last stop was at the Philadelphia 76ers, where the majority of their ownership is through private equity, and so, as you might expect, they have a very different lens of looking at business as well, and very data-driven, numbers-driven. And through most of my training, it's not just simply, I need X dollars, it's I need X dollars and I will get you Y. And understanding how to present that in a very strategic format, I think has been really important for my success and what we're doing here as well. So a great example is when we got here, we had one of the fewest or lowest amount of staff in our sales and service side. But if you looked at our ROI, we had a really significant, really positive ROI. And really, quite frankly, did the same thing when we were at the 76ers, was instead of just simply saying, well, I'll tell you what, how many sales reps does this team have and how many sales reps does that team have? And we should be somewhere in the middle, which is probably the way that most teams function. We really try to let the data tell us the answer. And so we'll just keep hiring people until the data no longer supports us hiring people. And so as a result of that, we've increased our number of service reps, we've doubled our sales reps. We've gone from a 79% renewal rate to an 85.5% renewal rate, 87.5% revenue. And so that's not the only reason, of course, but really being able to speak that language to an owner is really important.
Right. Well, anyway, so I feel that Tim's story is return on investment. ROI, when you're able to say, this is how much I can generate. This is how much you pay for me. I can help grow your business because I can help bring other people along. And I think Tim's story is return on investment. Don't you? Great.
So can I tell one more story? Okay, so I have another story because I know a lot of you guys are looking to crack into the field of sports, right? And so hopefully the person that sent this LinkedIn request to me is not in the room. But if you did, maybe you'll learn anyway. So I get this LinkedIn request from somebody that says, I'd love to, have a cup of coffee with you and spend some time with you. It doesn't give me much more detail than that. And I respond and say, thank you very much. What is it exactly that you would like to do? And he says, I'd just like to get to know more about your career. And I responded, thank you very much. The reality is, and I don't mean this in an egotistical way, but I'm really busy. And as much as I'd like to talk about myself and my career, I can't possibly do that for every LinkedIn request. So I'm going to transition just for a second. I'm going to go back in time about, I went to business school, graduated in 2001. So my summer of 2000, I did an internship at Goldman Sachs. And some of my coworkers have heard this story. I do this internship at Goldman Sachs. And again, my background in sports, I decide I'm going to try this New York thing, investment banking. And what they do is they have 100 interns come in for the summer. And you go into almost like a classroom setting. And they have tests, they have quizzes, they have pop quizzes. And the culture there is really, really strong. And part of what they're looking for is, on your own, do you take the initiative to meet with staff members, current staff members? And so they don't set anything up, they're just on your own. At least this is the way it was, 20 years ago. And so you reach out to somebody and say, hey, can we grab a cup of coffee, or could I, come and meet you, or take you to dinner, or whatever it is. So one day I'm in front of, sitting next to somebody just like this on the trading floor. And halfway through our little conversation, I'm talking to the guy, and he stops me. He says, I don't understand you guys. Every single one of you does the exact same thing. You make an appointment with me, you come and you sit next to me, and you ask me these silly questions of like, why did I come to work for Goldman Sachs, and what business school did I go to, and what are you looking at on your computer? And he's like, don't you get it? You are some of the brightest people in the world. You're at this great institution of Goldman Sachs for the summer, and we're going to have a chance to hire some of you. And I'm effectively evaluating you. I've got to go back and I've got to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And yet, all you've done for the first 20 minutes is ask me these really kind of ridiculous questions that I can't say anything really about you other than he's a nice guy, I guess. So he goes, if you want a job here, bring me value. I'm in the world, he was saying this to me, I'm in the world of, he was in technology stocks. So understanding the world of technology, what's happening across the universe, and technology is a big universe. He's like, give me something, a stock I should buy. Tell me a stock I should short, which means to sell a stock. Tell me something that I can say, you know what, you did your homework, you brought me value, and quite frankly, you're going to be, one of you guys will be sitting next to me in a year from now, so I know you can do this. And it just stopped me in my tracks, and I was like, wow, he's right. He's really right. And so now coming back to this person who reached out to me on LinkedIn, there's a lot of people who reach out on LinkedIn and want to have a cup of coffee, and I'd say, if you said to me, can I have a cup of coffee with you? I've created a top 10 list of how to sell tickets for the Philadelphia Union. You're going to get my attention. I've created an opportunity. I have this great new sponsorship idea that I've created that I really want you to look at. I've done data analysis on the Philadelphia background, and I found out that the Philadelphia Union have a huge opportunity in this demographic in this part of the city. Those are the things that would get me to say, let's have a conversation. And by the way, even if I think you're dead wrong, I'm still going to give you a chance to have that conversation, because that shows me that you took initiative, that you really have something cooking up there that's like, there's some value that you can bring to me. I'll end on this. One time I had an intern come to me at the end of the summer, and she said, hey, my summer internship's up. Just kind of like to know, is there a job for me? And I said, well, let me put it this way. Every day you left at 5 o'clock, and every day I left at 8 o'clock. Did you ever once thing, just come on in and say, hey, I know you've been working on X, Y, and Z. And on my own, I went and did this, and I thought you'd find this really interesting. Because that would say to me, wow, you didn't just do the 9 to 5 stuff that you were asked to, you took it above and beyond. And so that's what I guess some of the biggest wisdom that I've gotten. And it doesn't matter if you're just trying to break into the industry, or you're already in the industry, or you're an executive, but always be adding value. How good?